All right, this is your Monday real life stock review. Simply put, let's dive in.
Hopping over to the charts, we got ourselves an interesting day in front of us regarding today's review. So the broader markets, this is the SPY that we're looking at right here, and the spiders did have a little bit of a gap down today, and we actually had a really nice fade early in the morning. And this particular fade was one that in the trading room we played bullish for the most part. A lot of traders played bullish on AMD, Tesla, Baba, Square, Roku. Just a nice fade this morning, and then pretty much once the gap more or less got filled, you had yourself the double top, the close of the neckline, the retest of the neckline, and just this gorgeous rollover throughout the day. Because it was a little bit of a bearish gap, so it was actually an opportunity to play it both ways, bullish and bearish, bullish in the morning, bearish in the afternoon. So SPY, that was a really interesting move, and kind of again from this gap, this is a decently bearish candle for the most part, and there are some traders in a, what I think is a pretty good bear call spread, 300-301 above these long-term averages. But with this particular candle, it looks to me like any kind of weakness tomorrow, and we could see a little bit of a lower move down to the 272-ish area. Again, time will tell, but that's kind of what I'm thinking overall. Right now, the data is being very weird for any type of futures contracts for TradingView. So I have a hard time pulling it up, and with TrendSpider, same thing is kind of the case regarding really any kind of futures contract. Because obviously a lot of you guys have heard about Crude just getting absolutely roadhoused today. I mean, it's almost unexplainable what happened. So I got to really diagnose it, but it's hard to even pull up any charts right now in TradingView or TrendSpider on futures. But regardless, oil took it on the chin in a massive way. The USO oil fund was down 11% to 373. Massive, insane volume. And the interesting thing was last week, there were some interesting warning signs out there on some of these positions. I mean, specifically, right, a break below this particular candle, that showed a lot of weakness. Here's UCO. And UCO, we started taking out that really strong bullish candle. If I kind of come over here again, taking out this candle, just it didn't seem like there was much hope left as of right now, at least. Just getting totally 100% decimated. Chesapeake Energy, CHK had a strong selling day after its reverse split 3 or 4 days ago. And again, we'll see if it starts bottoming out, but crude oil, as far as the futures contract is concerned, got absolutely mangled, but I'm unable to pull it up in my charting softwares or Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim also right now, this is the, it's really interesting to see what happens, but it's kind of hard to pull up in the future contracts. But here's what is good news. So shout outs to Dave. Dave said he got a chance to snag something. We've been looking at oil and energy's last few days, and he said that he played oil on the downside and made 102 R's. So 102 R's on oil. A more than, I think he's meant to say tripled his account. So that's phenomenal. Another 34 R's on some trades. So he's really excited, really happy, brewing it up, getting some massive gains, and a pretty strong day for Dave. Congratulations, Dave. Super proud of you, but it was really weird what's happening. Yeah, so pretty incredible stuff going on. Gonna figure out what the heck's gonna happen with oil and energies, but man, oh man, how strange it is. Goodness. This is a swing trade that we got a chance to play on TNK. This is TK Tankers, and this one is actually trading up nicely right now. We played it based on this hammer candle back on April the 9th and getting a really strong move today on TNK. That's the ticker. So excited to see how that one plays out. We also have a bearish swing trade on TAL. So TAL is a bearish trade. Earnings are in the future, and if it can start breaking down, I think there's a small shot that this one potentially works, but right now it looks pretty okay. Shake Shack, SHAK, I love the volume, the close, the hammer that came in yesterday. Shake Shack looks strong to be bullish, so look to buy some dips on Shake Shack. Here is some swing trades that were requested. Got a request for ticker symbol STNG, And ST&G, Scorpio tankers, this is almost identical to the trade that we took on TNK. They just two different companies, I guess, for the most part. And really you can see the hammer is kind of brewing here on both of these. So both of these trades were hammer trades, ST&G and TNK. You had the move, had the pullback, you got some hammer candles, some high wave candles, some indecision, some interesting volume, right? Bearish volume getting taken out by the bulls, and bottom line, it's a nice little pop. So realistically, with this particular close today on ST&G, volume comes in, kind of looks like a little bit of a double bottom, really, really strong. I would assume that the next target on ticker symbol ST&G is 2607. That'd be a really nice target for that to hit, and that could hit in this week. So ST&G and TNK, which are two swing trades that a lot of traders have been looking at, but we are all in TNK. Really, really nice, gorgeous, gorgeous gap today. So look to get out of both of those, hopefully for some wins for those who are in it. We're only in TNK as far as real life trading is concerned, but yeah, nice moves overall, nice little levels. LAUR, this is going to be a stock that's going to cause me to get a shaved head, because back over here with this gap, I mentioned it was going to go higher, really into that $23, $25 space, and if it didn't, I would shave my head bald. Well, that's going to happen because this is a university company. This is a university stock, and with Laureate education and most companies and colleges and schools closing down for the next few really weeks and months, right? A lot of college kids are just not going into school right now. Well, this college company is not going to make any money if there's not a bunch of college kids going to school. So LAUR right now, expecting it to go a little bit lower. I still have these options, but only 5 of them. So I'm going to lose half an R on those. And then I exited my other long positions, all the way back here when we started breaking support, getting below those candles, and obviously having incredibly bearish signals. So right now in LAUR, going to keep an eye on it, I guess, for the most part, but might tiptoe into some single-digit shares on this one, around 7, 6, and 5 if it gets down to that price. But presently, not really doing anything too aggressively bullish on LAUR. Just going to wait it out and see what it does. How to request for RTX, and this is Raytheon Technologies Corporation. Raytheon just looks like the broader market. This is the monthly chart here, and you'll notice how it beautifully bounced off the 100 and 200 simple moving averages right now, kind of smacking its head against the 100 simple on the monthly chart. Here's the weekly chart, and so again, therefore, kind of based on the broader market, similar to the SPY, if we hop back over to the SPY, we are hitting some really strong levels as a resistance. So this is the 100 simple on a weekly chart. So that is one of the check marks that allowed me to do this particular bear call spread. But since we're here, nice little resistance, I could expect it to trade a little bit lower, trade down to some support, and then potentially bounce off on SPY again as a probability or a possibility. Expecting to get chopped around in here for a little bit, but is this going to be the exact high of this recent retracement? The answer is maybe. It's very possible. Looking at the other charts and time frames, I would actually love for this to pull back a little bit more. So for example, if the SPY could pull back to, like I mentioned earlier, 272, I think that'd be a decent buying spot to look to go long on some trades if given that opportunity. Speaking of going long, this was our most profitable trade on the day. This was Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. And as you can tell right now, trend is bullish on Tesla. This is the wave count that I have on Tesla recently. 1, 2, 3, some type of 4 at some point, and then eventually a wave 5. Well, here's how we played Tesla, and there's really there's not a lot of work to be seen on this one. This is your 3-minute chart, and let me just hide all my lines for just a moment, and you'll be able to see exactly why anyone went long Tesla today that had a pulse, a heartbeat, and was watching the charts. There's your 3-minute Chris Hemsworth, Hammer of Thor, showing up to your house, ready to party with a 10-year-old blend of scotch. That is a phenomenal hammer, and you got to play it bullish based on that hammer, and that is exactly what we did. Absolutely smoked that trade. Really good entry on the pullback. Had her stop at 720.91. Got in bullish, and yeah, it was a really good trade. Nice little 2R. Some trades got 2.5, some trades got 3, some trades got 4. Felicia Jones got 9 Rs because she was playing options. So that was a really, really great trade on Tesla. That was the big trade of the day and really our one and done for the day overall. All right, have 3 more stocks that were requested. Here's Apple. And Apple, shout out to my buddy Pablo, who had a put sale on Apple, got into that put sale on Friday and was able to buy it back today. And it looks like, Pablo, you're going to get another shot to do another put sale on Apple as it fills this retest gap, most likely tomorrow or the next day. Nice, gorgeous lower shadow, a little bit of a bearish candle. Looks like it's going to try to fill that gap, maybe even a gap down tomorrow morning into 272, 273, which ironically enough is almost the exact same price that SPY is trading at on Apple right now. Apple and SPY kind of trading pretty similar as far as price range and everything else is concerned, really. But if it fills that gap and you're looking at selling some puts or potentially owning some Apple, I think 254.78 is going to be a really interesting price to kind of snag it down there. I like the candle, I like the lower shadow, I like the gap. Kind of interested to see what happens on Apple, but long term, a very obvious buy the dip company, and we just pulled right back to the 100 simple moving average on a weekly, retesting the previous old resistance over here as new support. So that was the spot. We've already bounced. The volume's already coming in. The bottom's already coming in on Apple at this particular price, at least so it looks to me. So any type of pullback in this general vicinity still looks like a buyable event because, again, just imagine how strong the market will really, really move at this point once all the coronavirus stuff settles down and washes away, which I would assume is going to be relatively in the near future rather than the longer term future. So those are my thoughts on Apple. Had a request on Johnson & Johnson. And Johnson & Johnson is still Donkey Kong strong. Really, really beautiful trend. Here's the weekly chart. And the weekly chart, we're just getting right back up to its previous resistance levels. So not probably the absolute greatest spot in the world to go long right here on Johnson & Johnson, but you had a phenomenal lower shadow, a nice buy the dip opportunity because, again, it is, well, you know, Johnson & Johnson. A lot of their products being used in the household during this whole lockdown situation. This is the daily chart, and there were some traders during our beginners series of classes who played Johnson & Johnson bullish with that hammer candle right there. So at this particular point in time, again, I specifically wouldn't be running out to the bank and loading up on Johnson & Johnson, but look for some pullbacks to occur. Earnings is around the corner, and I would love a buying opportunity around 135, which would kind of fill that gap on J&J. And last but not least was a request for Gilead, G-I-L-D, and Gilead Sciences. For anyone who's looking at playing this one, I would say just simply buy the dip. This is one that we've been looking at for, well, I mean, pretty much everyone's been looking at this for a few months. I'm not special, but GILD had a lot of volume come in February. We broke above the 100 simple on a monthly chart in March. You can see we closed above that level with really, really good volume, and we retested that level, the 100 simple on a monthly chart on the bottom with that lower shadow. That was the spot to be buying Gilead Sciences in April, was just off of the 100 simple on a monthly chart. So at this juncture, if we're looking at the weekly, I mean, any time frame, we're above all the averages. But this was a very, very obvious blue chip gap up and fade. This is what we talked about in Friday during the morning day trading room. Really, really nice fade on Gilead Sciences. So at point being, look for the gap to fill on GILD, and then if you're playing it, sure, feel free to pick up some shares. Again, I mean, it is a dividend-paying blue chip pharmaceutical company, which, as far as vaccines are concerned, or coronavirus, or anything else long-term pharmacy-related, if you want some shares of a pretty strong company that's in a nice bullish trend that also pays dividends, this one's going to be one that's at least reasonably simple to consider. And I would look to be snagging some shares around 79. Probably pick up a few shares, tiptoe in, don't load the boat on it specifically. But yeah, let that gap fill, be in a position on it longer term. I think that's not the most unwise thing of all time on GILD. All right, team. Well, that about sums it up for me for your Monday trade review. One tiny thing. If you want, make sure you hop over to the Real Life Trading website and click on the intermediate trading, because next week begins the free intermediate program, which is going to be both mind-boggling and spellbinding. And then if you would like to, the back trading marathon is going to be coming up on Saturday. Also have an event with TrendSpider coming up Sunday. I'll get that on the website soon. And then the Nashville trading retreat. If you want to come into Nashville, if you want to trade with myself, if you want to hang out with some amazing people, just absolute wonderful legends and legendettes from all around the world, make sure you pop over to the trading retreat tab, click on that, get some information. It's going to be a wonderful event. So many good memories will be made. It's going to be an absolute blast. Get your tickets. They just went on sale yesterday and we're almost sold out. So if you're hearing this now, I'm 100% serious. It's a very good event and it will sell out in the next few days. Get a ticket, get in there, or be a triangle. All right, team. Thanks so much for signing up, talking, being here, watching. You are amazing. And until next time, love life, and trade it. Bye.
You got it. That was your Monday stock review. Thank you for watching. You are incredible. And until next time, love life, and trade it. Bye.